Well, how's it going? I don't see anybody talking about FORREST FENN lately. What, did everything get talked about? Well, there's a bunch of stuff that are common sense on it. Like why he didn't stop the chase when he was asked to by the cops and whoever else, the mayor or whoever else. The reason he didn't stop it is because it was in a good place. That he knew that it was in a safe place. And the whole poem, the book, is all married together. The treasures, because there's more to treasure than, just gold and stuff, because water is a treasure. And that's what he's going by on water. And it's about the acequias that were put in like in the 1600s that fed water to wherever it was needed. And you're going to learn that that's what he used, is an acequia. Don't know what it is, you should look it up. But I know I've told you all this before and you're going, oh, he's saying the same thing. But there's a lot of things to it. He would have called it off if it was in Wyoming, in the state of Wyoming. He would have called it off. But he didn't. Because he knew that it was in a safe place that you could get to where an 80-year-old man could go. And that was in the courtyard of the trove, of his trove, the gallery. If you look at Google the definition of trove, it's a store that has valuable and desirable things, which is a gallery. But y'all say, no, it's 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. He said the treasure is 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe, yes. But if you're looking at everything to it, the acequia doesn't have a dam. They don't call it a dam. They call it a pressa. But it's off the acequia. And that's one major part of it. And it starts from the island in the backyard, in the courtyard. If you Google it on maps and go from the island to where the pressa is, it's 4.1 miles, it says. So you give it a little extra on that. So there and back to the gallery is 8.25 miles. It would have been called off. He'd have called it off if it was somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. He wouldn't put a box, a 10 by 10 by 5 inch deep box, just anywhere. He ain't gonna just. And he knew it was in a safe place there. And with getting everybody to go out past 8.25 miles north, it was like when I started doing it, I just took and went to Santa Fe and drew a circle so big and started from that point out. No, but you're supposed to start from Santa Fe and work your way out. And you find where warm waters halt. And it brings you right back to it. I mean, everything works perfect on it. And the pictures on the cover tells it all too. And where's the chest? It's in the back. Like in the backyard. It's in the back. It's on the back side. Okay. If you go to the pictures, this picture, the top picture of him as a kid, that goes to a page where it's got his family each holding up their catch, like in a structure, like a building or something, like a house. And it has, he said he had a place in Wyoming that didn't have running water. No, but that's what you'd use an acequia for, is to get your fresh water. And the acequia followed Canyon Road down, and it branched off to wherever it needed to go. And whatever wasn't used went right back down into Santa Fe River. If I didn't know none of this until I started doing this. I kind of knew what an acequia was, but wasn't too sure about it. But it was just different how I found it, because I went back and just started over again and just started at the gallery and started working my way out. But if it was anywhere else, he'd have called it off. But it was at the gallery, his trove, where his treasures were bold. And the ones in the courtyard were definitely bold. They were full-size animals, people, and some of them were even exaggerated, like the rabbit golfing with a golf hat on, with golf clubs, and a few other things, but they were all heavy loads. And the water high was the water hole there. And the Acequia madre feeds that water hole. FORREST had to hire someone to draw out a map, go from the presa, where the presa is, and that's where all the Santa Fe gets all its drinking water too. It's from the reservoirs. There's like 3 different reservoirs or something up there that I counted. And one of them is McClure Lake, or McClure Reservoir. So FORREST fooled everybody. It fooled me for the longest time, but it's you don't know what the warm water halt is until you find it. And when you get started, begin it, which is another big thing, because if you start in Santa Fe and you work your way north, if you find warm water's halt, and it takes you and brings you right back, you begin it and it takes you right back to the gallery, which I'll show you here in a minute how it goes. It's kind of amazing how he figured this out, and that's how you'll see it in a different way. You'll realize that water is a treasure too, and with all the other treasures around, the heavy loads, you got a perfect place to put it, is on that island. There was 2 duck boxes there, 1 tree, which is a horse chestnut tree. I'm imagining that's what it is. No, I know that's what it is, because that's what the blaze is that tree. And you'll find that out here coming up. But as he has gone alone in there with his treasures bold, that he's talking about going into his gallery, into the courtyard alone. All the stories in TTOTC are about the gallery mainly. You can go and find when he talks about smile at a homely girl. Well, that's after you find the treasure. Well, he found the crazy headstone that was a piece of aluminum. And there is a piece of aluminum on that island that's covering a box. I've got a picture of it. So anyway, if it's in a isolated area, you ain't gonna trip over it. And you ain't gonna get hurt. You ain't gonna be attacked by bears. So he's got you covered. But you can't be meek, because you can't go in there and tell them what you're gonna do, what you're looking for, and all that. You have to play it as you're in there just looking, and go in there and scope it all out and everything, because that's what I did. And you can't be meek going in there. I mean, you ain't gonna be. And the way that it all works out, as you'll be able to see if you start out here. I kind of drew this up. This is the courtyard here. This is the pond, the circle in it. The island's in here. I didn't have enough room. I could have made it bigger, but, and the gallery is here, and whatever her name was that lived back here, Olga, alright. But this thing, like when he had his alligators, and he said it gave him a lot of business coming in to see the alligators in the water hole here. I think it's got 2 islands actually on it, but there's one here, and it's the only one I think with a tree, or horse chestnut tree. This is the water from the acequia coming into it, because he says that everything's going to be concreted, so it has to run through pipes. And of course that's what it does. But you start up here, you got Ski Santa Fe, which is 10,200 feet. He says it's between 5,000 10,200 feet. That would be Santa Fe. Then you come out, you go 4.1 miles up here. This is the Presa. I just kind of crudely drew it. It ain't drawn to scale, as you can tell. But the acequia comes down, and then it breaks off. It'll go different places, and then it comes on down, and it's about the best I know how it goes. And it comes back over here, and it feeds off to other places. But the acequia is all built up around it, where the acequia comes down through with water. Everybody built houses right alongside of it, and the acequia comes through right through the home of Brown, where the home of Brown is a historical garden, and the water there. And how you find that is the blaze, which is the horse chestnut tree. There's 2 of them here that were put there. They've been there since Abraham Lincoln was in office, and one of them had died in 2013 though. That's what I think the damaged blaze is, what everybody was talking about, because one of them's still alive, but the other one died. So if you start up here with begin it, take it in the canyon down. There's Upper Canyon Road. Here's Canyon Road, which is down. Take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. So it's not far, but it's too far to walk. So you're going to be driving. So you're going to change it from following water to following road. And this comes in, as you'll see. Take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. From there, there's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. So this canyon road comes down through here. The canyon road comes in and it tees off right here. The end is ever drawing nigh. You'll turn left and come on down. There'll be no paddle up your creek. Well, I started off with the Acequia Madre. And what's the next street is Acequia Madre Road, which used to be called Manhattan Road, which I give credit to Troy for that one, because I watched one of his and he did the roads and stuff and said that this one was Manhattan Road, which Manhattan Island. Where's the island? Right there, with the heavy loads, water high. Okay, so there'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. So there's your, and these little round things are statues. I just put them just to, so you know there's a bunch of statues, bronze statues that are life-size, elephant and all that stuff. So that'd be the heavy loads and the water high. So if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. So if you're back here, you look down, you find a tree, look down, and there's something down below it. But there's bushes all around that tree and stuff, so you can't really see it. I didn't notice that box until, because I took the pictures of it, and then I had to zoom in the pictures to see the box with a piece of aluminum with the edges rolled over so like the water would run right off of it. But just heavy loads, water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. but tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. So you're in a public area and all this. It's safe. You know he's got insurance on it, so if anything happened, he's covered. Um, so why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know. I've done them tired, and now I'm weak. And that was from moving all this stuff around, all these heavy loads. So hear me all, listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold that's going across the water. If you're brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So that's what he's saying. Don't make a big scene out of it and leave. But while you're in there, there's a picture of, like in the book, I don't remember what page it was on, but it's a picture of FORREST and his wife Peggy standing on each side of a picture of a big painting of a really homely looking girl. And it says, at FENN Galleries. And so, if you got the book, you can see that. So anyway, this is what it's all about. The acequia. And so, and if you use the acequia, you use the acequia madre. That'd be the first ace. Acequia madre road, be another ace, or other ace. The third ace would be acequia madre presa. And then you're using FORREST FENN. He was an ace pilot. There's your fourth ace and a joker. So there's your four aces and a joker. That brings, can't get a better hand than that. And let's see, the Homer Brown is is 545 Canyon Road, and it's El Zaguan is what it's called. But how you find that out is by looking up, going back and finding what the Spanish used for their color brown, to take the brown back as far as you can in Spanish to where the French, because the French, they borrowed it from the French. They used the horse chestnut from the horse chestnut tree for their colored brown. So that's, and if you find that out, then you look up horse chestnut trees in New Mexico, and it'll come out and give you that address right there, 545 Canyon Road, El Zaguan. They've got two of the oldest horse chestnut trees, because they don't grow in the United States. They come from wherever the hell they come from. I don't know where they come from. But anyway, they come from another part of the world. They're just shipped here, and they're not indigenous, put it that way. But anyway, the Homer Brown's pretty neat. They got the trees were out here to the west side of the building. I'm pretty sure how it was sitting. But Canyon Road's a famous road, and what FORREST did was he advertised, and he's got the whole Canyon Road covered to the end. Back over, he don't even tell you what this road is. You don't have to. And this being Manhattan Road at one time, and changing to Acequia Madre Road, which starts here and comes all the way back up and ties back into Canyon Road, way up here. But he had to use this to get you to come down here, so he could use the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek. That's why there ain't no paddle up your creek, because you're driving. It's a road, which was changed over here. The FORREST has got a lot of good stuff in that, and everybody, I thought at first that he wanted this to go on for a long time. I don't think he thought it was going to go that long. I don't think he thought it was going to go 10 years. He didn't make it for it to be a long haul thing. But everything goes together with it. There's Hyde Park, going up the mountain there. But Ski Santa Fe is 10,200 feet, and he said it was between 10,200 feet. You got a mountain on the south side of Santa Fe, a big mountain, and you got Ski Santa Fe to the north. But that's how it's compromised. You got Santa Fe River that comes through here too and goes up here. It's a crude drawing, I know. I wish I could have done better, but I was trying to just throw this together. I know where it was at on that island. Everybody's gonna say no, 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 but look at it, go over it. The end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. That's what he did that made him tired and weak, was moving the heavy loads around. And that courtyard is one of a kind. Maybe I shouldn't even be saying this, but... And I got another theory for the jars and the bells too, but... This is the one place he could put it, and he was always there. I was there in 2019 twice that year, and they said they couldn't believe that I hadn't ran into him because he's always there. His office is right here somewhere, and the door goes right out into this courtyard, like his dad was sitting on the banco. Father on the banco. The banco of what? The banco of this water hole. It's pretty nice size, and if you get a satellite view, you can satellite view the gallery and see it, and you can talk yourself all the way down through there. Bam. You know, begin it, and when you begin it, you're starting a whole new thing. You don't even worry about direction, but you're 4.1 miles out, 4.1 miles back, so you're looking at 8.25 miles. So then you got the 8.2, that. He pulls all the snow off this, makes water, warm water halt, take it in the canyon down, not too far to walk. Yeah, it covers everything. And since he had to hire an architect or engineer that knew the wording to put in it, I wonder how they drew it up to come down here, because it ain't going to be like he did it. That's what gave him the idea, I think, on it. But if you don't believe it, go back and look at it and tell yourself, this is a historic garden, though. I even talked to the lady that ran it. I don't remember her name, but it comes back this way. That is a really nice place back there, though. It really feels like you're out in the forest when you're back there. He also's got something over this on the other side of this fence that covered up, had roofs over it, but it looked like he was heating the water for this, and I think he'd have to. But when he had his alligators there and stuff, when he was. So anyway, that was just a thing to throw someone off, saying, well, he had alligators in here. You can't really see to the bottom of the water. Well, not. You couldn't really tell, but anyway, what else is there on it? Because all the stories, it said all he had to do was keep everybody away from it until they figured out. Once you figured out the only warm waters halt that does not have a dam is an acequia, and no one knows what an acequia is. It just looks like a creek running through, or storm drainage, or whatever. And she's got a 3-foot bathtub because they draw water from here, heat it up, and then dump it in there. You don't want a big tub because you'd be wasting all your time heating up a lot of water. So, or however much you want to put in or whatever, but that's why they did it that way. But water is a treasure, and he had all his treasures there. That's where his trove was. That is his trove. So anyway, everybody, I hope y'all I know there's a lot more I could say on it. All the stuff that was in on it, in through the book, the cards, the I just think he thought it was crazy him putting it there on that island. I wonder how he got it on there. If he used a raft or whatever, or made a bridge. It's only like, I don't think it's even 15 foot from shore to shore to the island. But he could also, if he was here walking around his backyard, as long as he didn't step foot on that island, he hadn't been back to the spot. If he goes and steps foot on the island, he's been back to the spot. But he didn't step foot on the island, so he didn't go back to the spot. But he could walk around it 20 foot away and never be back at the spot. There's a bunch of stuff like that that goes with this, but everybody thinks it's at least 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. Well, he fooled everybody, because it brought it right back. And if you go over and say it as you're going down, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. Just heavy loads and water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down. Because I found this out. I took it down like that, like I just did. And I didn't know the home of Brown. It took me a while, and I wasn't going to say I knew anything until I knew what the home of Brown was. And then when I found out that the horse chestnut tree was the blaze, because I didn't know what the blaze was. I didn't know, it was just, you don't know until you can put it all together. But it ain't in Wyoming. And if you got a mountain on the north and a mountain on the south, and Santa Fe sits in the middle of that, that's sitting in Wyoming. So that's what I think he did on that. But I like anybody's opinion. I like comments. Think I'm wrong, that's fine. But I think I'm totally right on it, because I don't see him putting it out somewhere and not calling it off with all 6 people getting killed over it. So anyway, nice talking to y'all. I hope to talk to you again. I hope you don't think I'm really crazy or anything, but that is it. He came back. He backtracked on it. Alright, well, y'all have a good one, and I'll see about putting this out. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment. Alright, bye.